Thought I'd do a quick video as to how I can make a difference to your organization immediately. Kind of those top five events or top five things that I bring to the party that will have an immediate impact on the organization. Let me give you, and by the way, I'm not implying that you don't do any of these things. And I certainly, you're in business for a reason. So I'm not suggesting that you're not doing things correctly. But these are the things that historically I've brought to companies that either don't do these or that they do them but need to be more effective, more efficient at it. The bottom line is to be able to close more business in as quick of a manner as possible. So, a little bit about myself. um, Most recently, the director of global sales for Vector, one of the longtime VMS companies that are out there. About a month or so ago, unexpectedly, my position was eliminated due to cost-cutting measures. So has that's how that goes sometimes. I think we're in an environment where things like that do happen. Excuse me. Um, I've been involved in the contract labor space from the very beginning. Back then, it was us as Itility and a company that's now known as Fieldglass. So we've been in this business for a very long time. One of the things that I bring to the table is the deep channel knowledge and international sales experience. Also been a speaker at some industry events. And I think the most fun one was being a hackathon judge. And in some of these, as you'll see in a couple of slides, in some of these networking groups, they're HR focused, but they're really not contract labor focused. Now there are a couple that have sprung up recently, and I think that's a good thing because this is a very significant component to anybody's labor strategy, and so that's fun. So what I did was, as a hackathon judge, I was able to judge a number of VMS players that are out there and their applications and their strengths and weaknesses. So that was a lot of fun. Now to the top five. Number one, as you probably can already guess, I've got a very deep understanding of the market. Not that you don't have credibility, but I can bring something that's a lot more, having been in it for over 20 years. I think the thing that differentiates what I do versus other people that might be in the market is, they'll tell you that they've sold it or they've implemented it or they've used it, but I've actually built it and sold a couple of versions of VMS over the years. So there's a deeper understanding, I think, than what's out there. There's a lot of technology right now that's coming into this space that could impact the way VMS systems work. Technologies that are kind of coming into and infringing on the VMS space, or the VMS players have to adjust and try to defend their position, if you will. But there's a lot of new tech coming in that's very good. And I've sold a number of those tech pieces as components to programs using APIs and other integration techniques. But I think there's a change in the works when it comes to some of that in the marketplace. The next thing that I would say is I'm a big fan of leveraging these tools. So I've used variations of this, so it's not like I'm stuck. I am a big fan of Salesforce, not only for for managing the activities and the contact names, but also for doing quoting and forecasting. And there's a lot of dashboards that can be built around Salesforce that are very, very effective. And as I say, there are other tools that do that, but I'm a big fan of Salesforce. The next three really kind of fit into almost like a sales and a marketing strategy. Apollo IO is great for finding contacts names, but it's also good for doing emailing. So while a marketing group might do some emails, it's also important for the sales people and myself, to do those email sequences to generate leads. Same thing with Restream and AirMeet. Restream is a live streaming platform. I'll use it for live streaming and as well as recording streams. This one is actually done on Restream, and so it can be put into YouTube and used for other things. I think it's really important to be able to brand yourself, brand your company and yourself as an expert in the business, and that's what Restream helps do. And AirMeet is really for those traditional roundtables. We used to do them in person, or we'll do them now at conferences. But it's a very interesting application in that you can do virtual roundtables in order to really get your brand and get your message out there in a different kind of format. So I think there's some, even though I call them marketing, there are some pieces that sales takes responsibility in creating our own stream, our own revenue stream, our own marketing stream. Anyway, I digress. The third thing is the channel partner network. I had 28 partners producing revenue in 2022. There were 8 new partners that hadn't closed their first program yet, but that gives me access into a lot of MSP business that that I think is a differentiator in what I bring to the table. The other things that I've done over the years is I've got a very well documented partner in sales or business and sales plan. And this is for people that really are interested in getting into the business, but don't have, the structure in place. So we can help them with that. Obviously, the intent is to get to closes, but this will help expedite that. And more important, really, than close number 1 is that this gets you to close number 2, 3, and down the line. Same thing with partner operations guides. These are program guides. Once they do stand up a program as an MSP, they have to be able to deliver on that. And these guides help. Very detailed, but very important to the partner side of the business. The next piece is international sales. So of the 28 revenue generating, well, actually of the 36, because all 8 in the international business hadn't closed their first deal yet. They may have by now in the last month or so. There were some that were very close. So most of those partners are headquartered in the UK, although they have offices and do business around the EU. Have not gone into India and Asia. It's a tough market. There's certainly business there that is using systems, but not headquartered business there, which is the important part about international bookings. All of the bookings that I've done so far in international world have been through the partner network, although there is, as there is in the US, a trend towards direct business, which gets me to point number 4, which is direct sales. 90% of the business that I've done comes from new booking business, comes from partners, but there is a significant booking number that fits in the direct sales category. They are enterprise in nature. They tend to be very large and long sales cycles. What's interesting is the last bullet item. Even though 10% of new bookings come from direct deals, over 50% of the revenue comes from direct deals, which means that they are a lot more profitable, a lot larger in size, and they're just, they're funded to wrestle to the ground, but they do take a little time. Now, I am telling you that there is a trend toward internally managed programs. There's lots of conversations around doing internally managed programs. The decisions may not go internally, but there is definitely noise in that space. So those are the 5 top items. If you'd like to talk more, certainly interested in that. My cell phone there. If you'd like to book some time on Calendly, I'm available. And all of this information is on my LinkedIn profile. All of this contact information. I haven't put the top 5 on LinkedIn, but maybe that's something that will be done at some point. Probably not. Anyway, have a great day and look forward to connecting.